Hey Brad, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain, can't complain. A lot of guys have come in here talking about the new energy in the building and how it's a little bit different from last year. Just what's that look like to you, and how's the energy been through the first couple of weeks of spring ball?
Yeah. Well, the energy, yeah, for the past couple of weeks has been great. Even weeks prior to that, when we were working out in our winter conditioning and workouts and whatnot, like just the energy in the building among the staff, coaches, custodians, nutrition and trainers, everybody else has just been positive. Positivity. And looking towards the future and as well with the players. So the energy, yeah, like you said, has been great.
John Del Bianco.
Brad, you were such a big name in last year in preseason camp. I know a lot of coaches had spoken so well of you, and you had high expectations for yourself last year. What type of season do you feel you had, and what was that injury that kept you out the last few games?
Uh, I'd probably say that last year the main thing I got was just I don't know, just being able to learn. It was a big experience for me. Like you said, it didn't go exactly the way I thought it would, but just like in life and football, like things ain't always gonna go exactly how you think they're gonna go. So I just had to take the punches and roll with them. And my opportunities that I got, just try to do my job, do what I was supposed to do. Um, but towards the end of the season, I was having like neck related injuries. So that was kind of scary for me because I ain't never really had any neck problems or anything related to my neck or spine or anything like that. So once that started happening, with Clint and Rachel, they grabbed a hold of me and was like, well, let's figure this thing out and make sure it's not nothing serious. So I actually had got I was getting repeated stingers. So like in the first, like I think it was Tennessee, I want to say, like somewhere in those first 3 or 4 games, I had made contact with somebody and got like a really bad stinger, and it stayed. And then after that, I just kept getting stingers like repeatedly. Every time I would hit, I would get a stinger. My arms would go numb, have pains in my neck. So that went on for like a couple of weeks, and we tried to try to do some things in house, like they added a neck brace to my pads and stuff like that. Once it kept happening, while we went and seen a bunch of specialists and stuff just to make sure there wasn't any like spine or neck damage to me, which there wasn't any nerve damage and it wasn't. So that's a good thing. Uh, but yeah, we was just trying to. They just tried to like take care of me at the end of the season and make sure that it wouldn't turn into anything too severe that could keep me playing for a long period of time. So
With that, is this something that is kind of in the back of your mind when you're on the field going to hit someone, or do you feel you've passed this and you feel confident about your health moving forward?
when I'm on the field, I'm definitely not thinking about it. So if I'm when I ever set foot on the grass, man, I'm not really thinking about any injuries or none of that. I leave that all up to God and just pray for the best, hope for the best. But definitely kind of before practice, maybe I'll try to I always stay on it. Like I get massages focused around my neck and spine back area all the time, twice a week. And I talk to Dr. Cohn, which is like our kind of like our back neck specialist. He'll come in and like work with guys in that specific area. But yeah, it's something that I definitely I try to take precautions to prevent if I can, because I know how serious it can be, and I know guys like Kiel and people like that who've had career-ending injuries related to your neck and spine. So like I definitely try to stay on top of it for sure.
Thank you.
Joe Machika.
Hey, Brad, your teammates have talked about this new system and it being, an opportunity to be more aggressive. What are you looking forward to most about playing in this new system?
Uh, what I look forward to most. Well, probably the thing I look forward to most is just the actual linebacker position I'm playing now is Will instead of Sam, and kind of Sam and like Muschamp's defense is it's a linebacker, but it's not a true linebacker. I'm not stacked in the box. I'm not over the nose. My responsibilities are kind of the same, and they're limited, and I'm only brought in on certain packages. In this defense right here, I'll be playing Will, so it's more so like, or Will and Mike. So I'm a real deal linebacker. I could be anywhere on the field at any point in time, and I feel like what excites me most about that is just always being able to be around the ball and be in a play. and not having to wait for the play to come to me or doing my job and hoping that the play come to me so I can make it. This is kind of, I get a little bit more free roam. So I can kind of make some stuff happen, and that definitely excites me. So, yeah.
Colin Taylor.
Brad, what's it like working with Coach White and being in that room? How's he kind of helped you get better over the last couple weeks?
Coach White, he's a great dude, man. Of course, coming in, like, I didn't really know how to expect, and I feel like that's how everybody is, especially, the guys that were here in the situation that we had, dealing with COVID last year, and then the coaches changed and stuff. Everybody was kind of on the edge. It was very tense, but so Coach White, he's kind of like a tense guy when you first meet him, man. He's talking all aggressive kind of. He's, I don't know, he gives that vibe. So, like, I was kind of like, when I found out he was going to be my coach. But then, man, after we started, like, talking one-on-one and he was talking, like, with the linebackers in the linebackers group and stuff. And, after hearing him coach us up and taught us in the past, like, few weeks that we've been doing spring ball, like, man, he's great. Like, I got nothing but good things to say about him. I'm excited about how he's going to lead our defense and how he's going to continue to coach us and our linebackers and, get us to be the players that we can be, the best players that we can be. So.
Josh Kendall.
Sorry, it takes me a while, Brad, to hit all the right buttons. I just wanted to make sure I was clear about your injury. They never diagnosed you with anything specific. Is that right? Did they ever pinpoint and say this is what it was and we know how we're going to treat it, or did it just kind of go away?
Yeah, it wasn't really a thing that they pinpointed and said like this is what's wrong, which is kind of what had me kind of scared because I definitely felt something was wrong with my body, my neck, and in that area. But it was like the specialists that I had seen and the doctors that I had went to were like your nerves are good, your neck's good, your spine's good, like everything's good. I'm just like, well, I'm not feeling too good, so that kind of scared me. But yeah, the kind of like the process we took to that was just to kind of like back up, ease up. I think exactly what they said. That from repeated contact, some bone in my neck had swollen, or muscle tissue in my neck had swollen, and was like causing pressure against my nerves. So like any time that I would make contact, even if it was like a slight bit of contact, because of that swelling of my muscle tissue, it would rub against my nerves a little bit and cause me to feel that pain that I was feeling and get those stingers. So I believe that's like the diagnostic, But yeah, kind of the process we took, there wasn't really anything I could do. Wasn't any medicine you could take. It wasn't even really a lot of rehab kind of. It was just, you can't really rehab too much on your neck besides the little exercises that you can do. So it was really just me backing away from contact and a lot of recovery, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad.
No problem.
Joe Machika.
All right, Brad, I've asked all your teammates about him. What's it like playing with a guy like Jordan Birch?
Jordan, man, Birch, he a freak athlete. That's what it's like playing with him, man. But and it's crazy to see because when you get to this level in high school, a guy like Jordan Birch is gonna pop off the screen at you, But when you get to college, like guys like that kind of like dwindle away. Either they don't stay in the playbook like they need to, or they're too busy doing other things, So like their flaws show up on the field, more so less than when they were in high school when they can just show up and it's popping. But with Burst, like he's continuing to grow, and you see that regardless of where he's at, like he could be anywhere in the country and you're gonna be able to see, this dude's a physical specimen, like really, like 270 and being able to run with linebackers and stuff like that. So yeah, Birch is he'll have a good season going up this year, Hopefully he stays healthy. And
John Del Bianco.
Brad, as someone who had always spent his football career kind of on the edge of the line of scrimmage and going after the quarterback and playing buck and more outside linebacker here, just what has the transition been like moving to inside linebacker, and how do you feel like you're adjusting to that new area of the field?
I feel like I'm adjusting well. I feel like last year kind of playing Sam kind of loosened me up to it, to be able to play in space. But I feel like that's the main thing. That's kind of been my main focus, just getting used to being out in space and being out in the open. You know, when you're on the line, especially on the edge, you keen to tackle, and that's pretty much it. You know, so that's my view. That's how my view was, and then now, you know, being pushed back in the box, you can see everything. You see in the formations, receivers, you know, quarterback, running back. You see the guys in front of you, the D line in front of you. You can look at your DBs beside you, like you can see it all. So really just focusing on my keys, what the key, and being able to play in space, getting used to playing in space has been my focal points at LB. So.
And have you had to change your body any to, kind of adjust to that new area of the field? Or are they asking you to, lose any weight, or you're staying where you are?
Nah, I haven't been asked to lose any weight. I'm around like 240, 240-ish. So, you know, that leads me to be able to play on the edge and kind of play in the back. But nah, I haven't had to lose any weight or anything like that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Taylor.
Brad, what are some of your impressions of the young guys in the room, especially Debo Williams and Mo Kaba?
Oh yeah, Mo smart, man. He gets the game. He knows the game. He's a football smart guy. Has a strong football IQ. And Debo's he's a definition of a football player. You know, ain't afraid to get his nose dirty. He's kind of definition of a linebacker too. He's kind of what I kind of view, you know, as a linebacker. Just not afraid to get his nose dirty. Not afraid to stick his face in the fan. You know, he's that type of guy, and I'm excited to see it all come together for him once he learns the defense and learns how to play linebacker, because I didn't know that. You know, he hasn't played a down a collegiate ball yet. When he came in, I thought he was like a junior or something like that, or in my same year, but he told me he was a freshman. I'm like, freshman, what? But, yeah, those are two guys that I have high expectations for, as well as I know Coach does too, and they're going to help us out a lot this year, so.